Hey guys, I'm gonna just mute everybody. Hi, hello, everybody, welcome. Good to see your faces. Um, okay, so this is a new call. Oh, Maddie's on. Hey, Maddie. Hi, oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys saw the Barcelona auction, but Maddie bid and won on it. Maddie bid on it and won. Yeah, super fun. Um, And we actually just decided that we are going to invite the top bidders just to have because we thought it would be more fun in a group. And they would all get to meet each other. And so I think there's maybe five other girls that are joining us. We're just talking to them now. So anyway, super excited to have you in here, Maddie. Okay, so this is the first call that I'm doing for the tapping circle only. I got this idea because I've been working with a smaller group. We originally called it the 90-day reinvention, and I think we're going to change it to the inner circle. What we're doing is we're meeting every Monday, and it's a small group. I think there's, maybe 25 women in it. And so every Monday I'm basically able to check in with everybody and really give them very specific coaching for where they're at, and these people are making massive progress, and it's been really fun and really lighting me up to work with them. And the other day it came up, something came up that I was working through. So part of the reason I'm doing an inner circle now is because I'm making some big up level changes in my life, and truly, I need you guys to hold me accountable. I notice for me when I am in a container, when I'm in a tapping container, my life explodes in like all the positive ways exponentially. Um, and I wanted to bring people along in that journey with me. And so anyway, I'm really excited about it. We'll be giving you guys some more information on that if you want to join us for that. But the reason that I'm telling you this is because one of the things I did is we're all in a WhatsApp group together, and I shared a tapping script or something that I had been working on that was blocking me. And I shared it with the group, and they were like, "Oh my God, this really resonated with me. This was my block too, or I had some sort of block around this." And so I went back to my notes and I thought about all the things that I've tapped on. I've kind of been on a sabbatical for a couple of years, and I haven't been, doing anything new. I haven't been teaching anything new. And I've done a lot of reflecting. I've done a lot of tapping on myself. I've made a lot of changes, and but I track my changes. I like to keep track of the things that I tap on because I forget who I used to be. Because as you guys know, the up level when you up level, your brain normalizes to that new level. And so you can't remember how to have the same problems that you used to have. You can kind of remember, like, oh, yeah, I used to struggle with emotional eating when it's a big problem like that. But for instance, my social anxiety, um, getting my needs met, asking for what I want, not being a people pleaser. These are all these things that I worked on specifically this last year. And those patterns improved with the tapping work that I've done, but I worked on them specifically. I specifically dug into those particular topics. So I went back through my notes, and I found a whole bunch of things that I tapped on this last year. And so I'm going to start sharing those with you guys every month, just like some of the things that I've tapped through, and we'll tap as a group together to clear them. They're not necessarily food or body related, but um, they are issues that get in the way of just like having the best life. So, that I am committed to having the most fun in life. I am committed to having the most freedom in life, the most flexibility. I just like life to be easy and fun, and I like to be able to do what I want to do. And When I'm feeling resistance or when I have an issue, I just like to dig into it and attack it because I don't want anything to hold me back from the life that I want. So I'm pretty good about doing that myself. I definitely take breaks from tapping. I'll take sometimes year-long breaks from tapping. But I think one of the keys to my happiness and my success and the freedom that I that works for me is that I've just always been hyper aware of what is blocking me, and I have been dedicated to tapping those blocks away. So so with that said, today we're going to talk about and we're going to tap through getting our needs met. And this came up because one of my students, she's lost weight, and we were talking about her diet. She's lost weight. She's stopped eating emotionally. She no longer has cravings. She no longer eats, in between meals. But then she was like, I think the things that I'm eating are probably not the best. And so we started to, talk about what she was actually eating, and it was like a lot of carbs and, maybe things that aren't super healthy. And in making that change to eating, something that's more healthy or planning her meals, she said, God, I feel like I need to take care of myself if I want to plan these meals out, or I feel like I need to have a better level of love for myself to take care of myself in this way. And it reminded me how hard it is to make those decisions, to take care of yourself, to be healthy, to pick the healthier thing, to go out of your way, to plan meals, to say no to things, to go to exercise when you're not used to taking care of yourself. I think a lot of us grew up where our needs weren't met. I think it was, just parenting. There wasn't a lot of information the way that there is now for the younger generation. And so our parents were kind of winging it. And, they came from a generation where, emotional needs weren't important. Emotional needs didn't matter. And so, that's created a ripple effect. And I know a lot of you guys have changed the way you treat your children because of that. But I don't know that it's very common to talk about, or to tap on and to work on us, healing this wound of getting our needs met. So I want everybody to think about. We'll just get right into the tapping. I want everybody to kind of think about, what are some ways that you could take better care of yourself? Um, so here, some ideas are like with your eating meals, obviously. Somebody shared the other day that she's staying up really late at night. She's not going to bed, earlier when it would be better for her body to sleep. You're saying yes when you mean no. If you're over giving, if you're avoiding conflict, if there's someone or something in your life that's bothering you, and you're not addressing it, and you're avoiding conflict. Also not asking for help. How many of you guys have like not asked for help a lot in your life? Um, Maybe like also not tapping could be one of them too. Using screens or using, food or alcohol as a way to numb out. Or you could even ignore your hunger. Maybe you're the type of person that you get up and you're just like, oh, I just can't be bothered with food. And then you don't eat most of the day, and then you're like starving, and then you go on a binge later at night. Or, like I mentioned, exercise. Another really common one is if planning for meals, or if I'm not a cook. I don't like to cook. I don't. I feel like part of the reason I lived in other countries was because the food quality was so much better, and it was so much easier to eat out at restaurants or have food delivered to my house, just because I didn't like to cook so much. So I get not liking to cook, but there is something about if you're not good at taking care of yourself, actually nourishing yourself and feeding yourself will seem really hard. So I want everybody to think about just one of these. I get that you might have a lot of them, but think about just one area of your life that you would like to improve and put it in the chat just so I know what everybody's working on. Oh my gosh, what's happening here? Okay, let's see. Movement, preparing healthy meals, less screen time, playing games. Oh, that's a good one. Ignoring hunger. Okay, awesome. I don't want to eat junk food. Portion control. Cool. Movement, exercise, planning for meals. Walking more consistently. Yes. Okay. Okay, cool. So that's what we're going to work on. I was actually going to talk to you guys about the habit stack first. Do you want me to talk about habit stack first before we do the tapping? I think that's probably better because then you guys can kind of just like bliss out with the tapping afterwards. Okay. So the other thing that I want to introduce is a habit stack every month. And I did talk about this in one of my tapping circles. I think I was talking to Daphne because I was on my walking pad. But essentially, the reason that I want to introduce a new habit every month is because um, habits habits are studies have shown that when you start two habits at the same time, you have a 4% success rate. If you just start one habit at a time, you have something like a 76% success rate. You have the chance of having a 76% success rate. So essentially starting two new things at once is virtually impossible. Like everybody does the new year, new me thing. Hopefully most of you guys are sick of that by now. But I remember years ago, I used to say, okay, this is the year that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then once I learned the statistic that if you add more than one thing at a time, you have only a 4% success rate of achievement. And so that made me pare back on what my habits are and just focus on one at a time until they became um until it became a normal, until it didn't feel hard to do. Okay. So that's just like some math on habits. There's another there's another component of habits which is called habit stacking, which is attaching a new habit to something that you're already doing. Okay. So I will tell you how I did this with my walking pad. I go in cycles where I'm either really, really busy or I'm dormant. And that is on purpose. Well, it's not on purpose. I have learned that that is my cycle. My sister calls me a bear. She's like, you hibernate for like years sometimes. And then when you're done hibernating, you come out swinging. And so I can hibernate for a long time and then I can come out swinging for a long time. I used to feel like I needed to like be balanced and everything. This is also something we just talked about on the Monday calls. I used to feel like I needed to be balanced all the time. But that balance just doesn't work for me. I work better when I'm either a total fucking sloth or I am swinging for the fences. And so because I've accepted that as part of myself and part of my life, adding a new habit, like getting more steps in, is kind of challenging, right? Because, it's something that you have to do consistently. And so what I did is I observed what phase of my life I was in. So when I started this, I was doing I was lounging a lot. And so I was watching a lot of TV and movies. And so what I did is so the idea with habit stacking is that you attach something to something you're already doing. So I had a habit of watching TV a lot. So what I did is I made an agreement with myself. Actually, I moved my TV into my gym. So I have, I have like an extra room that's pretty small. And and I moved I got a walking pad and I moved my TV into that room. So that's the only room that I could watch TV from. So if I wanted to watch TV, I had to be on the walking pad. And that worked really, really well for a while until I started working again, until I got really busy. And then I realized that I needed to move my walking pad to my office because I was on calls and I was having meetings like most of the day. And so I just I love how easy it made it. I don't feel like it doesn't feel like an extra thing. It doesn't feel like an extra thing. It feels like I'm accomplishing, it feels like I'm killing two birds with one stone. Like I have to be on calls anyway. I might as well get my steps in. And I think something that you'll notice if you guys don't already do this, the more active you are in terms of like just gentle walking, the more energy you have. And this is something that I've only noticed like since I hit 40. And I think it is something with our hormones, but we do, Casey would probably be able to talk about this better than I can, but we do need to move our bodies more the older that we get. We become a lot more sedentary. So we do need to make sure that we're proactive about that. And I have noticed when I'm starting to feel tired consistently, or if I'm drinking a little too much coffee, if I look back at my pedometer about if I look back at my phone, which tracks my steps, I will have had a couple days that are really, really inactive. So I just wanted to kind of offer that as a habit stack for you guys. I don't know, is everybody really good is there anybody really good at getting your steps in, like 7,000 steps every single day? No, probably not. Yeah, I was getting, when I looked at my phone on average, I was getting 3,000. And I'm pretty active. Like I go to the gym pretty much every day, or I go to yoga, or I do something every day. And so, especially if you live in America, it's really hard to get your steps in. And also, getting 5,000 steps or 7,000 steps can take like 45 minutes to an hour. And so, just thinking about that every day felt really hard. Like, oh, I have to think of an extra hour to do. Like, I need an extra hour to get this habit thing in. Well, when you stack it to something that you're already doing, it's not an extra hour because you're going to be doing that other thing anyway, right? Okay. So, does that make sense? Anybody have questions about that? What I would love to see, walking pad with treadmill, no arms on it, small but effective. I love yeah. Yeah, mine was like 89 bucks. It was so cheap. I will say the one with the hands, if you guys are thinking about getting a walking pad, get one with a bar if you're going to watch TV. I'm using mine with my standing desk, and so I have my hands on something, but if you're watching TV, it's actually very destabilizing if you don't have something to hold on to. So I did not know that ahead of time. So yeah, absolutely get an electric stand. Yeah, a standing desk was awesome. So I had a standing desk. I just wasn't using it until I got my walking pad. Now I use it all the time. And I prefer actually, I'm really low on energy today, which is why I'm sitting. But normally I would be walking for at least this part of the class because it just makes me feel so good. And I think better. I notice that I think better. I get better ideas when I'm walking too. Okay, cool. So, oh, and then I think also too, um, if you guys, if you want some more accountability, I think posting in the Facebook group that you've done your habit and just letting us celebrate you. If there's a group of you that like you really want to get serious about this, you're like, okay, I want to get my steps in. Let's get a few of you to commit, like, okay, I'm gonna do, and it's usually with new habits, it's usually the smaller the better. Okay, so here's the psychology of it. If you tell yourself I'm gonna get 7,000 steps a day, and you're only at like 2,000, the spread that, adding 5,000 extra steps a day can feel really overwhelming. And so you'll talk yourself out of it. But if you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to get 3,000 steps a day instead of just 2,000, then, that maybe is, you got to walk for 10 minutes or something to get an extra 1,000 steps. 10 minutes a day seems more doable. Once you, and here's the rule, when you start small like this, here's the rule, is if you're having a day like I'm having today where I just feel shitty and I don't want to do anything, I'm going to do my minimum. I'm not going to do more than what I've committed to doing myself. Um, so if you're having a day where you can't be bothered, you just do your extra 1,000 steps for 10 minutes. Most of the time, once you get going with that 10 minutes, you might add five more or 10 more. You might end up with, 2,000 extra steps, but you don't want to jump to this huge goal when you first start. Okay, so that's another really, really important component of this is make sure that it's achievable. And even though I know the goal would be to get to, 5 or 7 or 10,000 steps in a day, um, when I'm just using myself as an example again, when I first started this, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do 10,000 steps a day. 10,000 steps a day is really fucking hard. It takes a lot, and I am exhausted. If I do 10,000 steps a day, when I first started, I was super tired at the end of that day. And so I found myself not doing it because it felt like too big of a beast. But when I was like, you know what, I'm just going to get 5,000 steps. I ended up doing 7 or 9, and now 10 is no big deal because I've been doing this for a couple months now. Okay, yeah, I would like to see a lot more activity in the Facebook group too. So I think this could be a really good way if you guys can commit. If you want to do the walking pad, type steps in the chat here, and then you guys will know who's in the group. And then I want you guys posting in the Facebook group once you are done with your steps. Post, any aha moment that you had. You can post a win. You can just post how many steps you did. But I think for the accountability and to kind of like keep the momentum, I think it's important to use that group to share wins and then also to inspire other people when you do yours. Because there's going to be somebody that's going to be in bed thinking about it, is going to look on her phone. And if she sees your post that you just did it, you might encourage and inspire her to get up and do it also. Okay, cool. All right, look, it looks like there's 4 of you already. Natasha said, what are people using for tracking steps? I tried my phone some time ago and it was very inaccurate. I have not tried anything other than my phone. I just put my phone in my pocket and I walk because I can't be bothered with an extra device. So and I just go with whatever it tells me. If I, yeah, I have no advice on that. But if there's anybody in here that really has something that they love, yeah, please share it with us. Okay, Kathy said she uses a Fitbit. Jessica says I use a Garmin clock and it's good. Apple Watch. Yeah, those are the main ones, I think. Okay, cool. 2K steps is approximately a mile. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's get into some tapping. Okay, so going back to getting your needs met, taking care of yourself. I want you to think about the thing that you put in the chat that feels hard, um, that deep down would be easier if you took better care of yourself. And I want you to type in the chat, tell me how hard it is when you think about going to do that thing. How hard is it right now on a scale from 0 to 10? Jolena says 9, Willow says 8, Margaret says 10, Cindy says 6, Erin says 8. Maddie says 10. Daphne says 10. No screens is my thing. 8, 3. Healthy portions, 8, 9. Okay, good. So you guys are up there pretty high. Awesome. Okay. So I want you to visualize yourself doing that thing so that you feel the discomfort of how hard it is while you do this tapping. Okay. And then just notice if I'll remind you in your tapping, but I want you to keep thinking about moving forward and doing that thing. Okay, that's going to get you the best results with this tapping script. And again, you guys know how I feel about tapping scripts. I'm not a super big fan of tapping scripts because they're not perfectly accurate for everybody. So I'll share this tapping script in the tapping circle membership area with you guys. But if there's something in here that triggers something in you where you're like, oh my God, that was so good, and you need to go deeper, do that. Like that's what's gonna really give you the results. This tapping script will probably unlock crazy, amazing things for you. And if there's something in here where you're like, holy shit, I gotta go deeper on that, definitely go deeper. Okay. All right, so everybody take a nice deep breath and tap on your karate chop point. Think about that thing that feels really hard to do. Feel your resistance to it and repeat after me. Even though I learned taking care of myself, even though I learned rules about taking care of myself, I look forward to the day I no longer feel trapped by those rules. Even though I learned it was safer to be low maintenance, selfless, or composed, I look forward to the day I no longer feel this way. Even though some part of me believes my needs will create problems, I look forward to the day I feel safe to have needs and honor them. Now, tapping through the points here. Somewhere I learned that focusing on my needs was wrong. Somewhere I learned that my needs could trigger criticism. Somewhere I learned that needs could trigger rejection. Somewhere I learned it was better not to want too much. It's better to not ask. It's better to not make waves. It's better to handle it quietly, or it's better to just deal with it myself. I think that's really what we all do. Maybe I learned that love came with conditions, or that approval required me being easy. Maybe I learned that rest was not allowed, or that play meant I was irresponsible. So I built a strategy: stay productive, stay composed, stay useful. And that strategy protected me, but now it limits me because I'm not trying to survive anymore. I'm trying to thrive. And my system still reacts like thriving is dangerous, like having needs is unsafe, like having needs makes me unlikable. And like rest makes me unworthy. But what if my needs are not proof that something's wrong with me? What if needs are information? What if needs are guidance? What if my needs are a compass? What if my emotions are a signal on a map? And what if taking care of myself is maintenance, not indulgence? If I saw someone I love never resting, would I call that strong or would I call it unsustainable? When I see other people enjoying life, do I condemn them or do I envy their freedom? So, what if joy, what if pleasure, what if getting my needs met isn't selfish, but fuel? What if asking for what I want is medicine? What if getting my needs met is courageous? What if the real fear is not getting my needs met, but what joy it might trigger? Maybe it will trigger judgment. Maybe it will trigger expectation. Maybe it will trigger rejection or disappointment or fear of getting my hopes up or fear of feeling too much. And what if I can update this? What if I can teach my system that it's safe to ask for what I need? What if I can teach my system it is safe to get my needs met? What if I can teach my system that it's safer to get my needs met? Okay, everybody take a nice deep breath. I am allowed to start small. I don't have to overhaul my whole life to take care of myself. I can take one small step. I can meet one need today. So I want you guys to think about the thing that you're doing that feels hard or that felt hard. I can take care of myself without turning it into a debate. I can give myself permission to meet my needs without a reason. I can allow pleasure. I can allow joy. I can allow fun without waiting for consequences. And I can go slowly. I can pause when I need to, and I can come back when I'm ready. I can be easy with myself. I can just do the next thing. It's safe for me to take care of myself. I can let self-care be normal. I can let my needs be normal. I can let joy be normal. Okay, take a nice deep breath. Okay, I want you to think about the thing that feels hard, and I want you to think about usually there's a few reasons it feels hard. One of them is psychological, and the other one is that there's like so many steps that we have to take in order to do it, right? Like if you want to cook for yourself and you're not used to cooking, you're like, okay, I have to first decide what I want to cook, and then I have to go to the grocery store, order Instacart, and then I have to unpack the groceries and take them out of the car, and then I have to, right? It feels like a lot of steps. So I want you to think about, don't think about all the steps. I want you to just think about taking the next step. What's the first, excuse me, what's the first step? Whenever I tap, I burp or I hiccup. This is obviously still working on me too. Um, so I want you to think about what is the first step you have to take in order to care for yourself in this way. Okay. Um, okay. It is actually, we'll tap through the points. It is safe to acknowledge what I need. It is safe to be a person who has needs. It is safe to honor my own needs. It's safe to rest without falling behind. It's safe to pause and still be worthy. It's safe to play and still be respected. It's safe to be seen enjoying my life. It's safe to take this next first step. It's safe to receive support. It's safe to ask for help. My needs are guiding me towards my well-being. My desires guide me towards my aliveness. My self-care stabilizes me. I allow self-care to feel normal. I allow rest to feel normal. I allow joy to feel normal. I welcome peace. I welcome love. I welcome the version of me who is well cared for. I welcome the version of me who is supported. I welcome the version of me who knows exactly what she needs. And I welcome the version of myself who honors it with ease. It keeps getting safer to take care of myself. It keeps getting easier to meet my needs. And it keeps getting easier to enjoy my life. Okay, everybody take a nice deep breath. Okay. All right. And let's go back and think about the thing that you need to take action on and just think about doing the next first step. Tell me what the first step is here. And when you think about doing the next first step, what's your number on a scale from 0 to 10? Rocky went from a 10 to a 2. That's awesome, Rocky. So share what your next first step is, just also for some extra accountability. Barbara went from a 10 to a 3. Awesome. Grace said, oh my God, every statement was so brilliant. Yes, I will share the script with you guys. Jill said planning dinner tonight. Zero. Awesome, Jill. Oh my gosh. Jolinda, 9 to a 3. Lisa says 3 feels doable. Maddie went from a 10 to a 3. Awesome. Announce the next step to my partner. Yes, sometimes we have to include other people, which can feel really hard, and then we just ignore it. But again, that's another way that we don't take care of ourselves. Grace went from a 10 to a 2. Awesome. Cindy went from a 6 to a 2. Daphne went from a 10 to a 1 or 10 to a 0. Becky says, I need to set up my exercise bike. First step, taking a few delicious breaths. Ooh, I love it. Ellen said 15 minutes every morning, 10 to 3, yawning a lot. Awesome. If you guys want it right now, I can copy and paste it here in the chat, just so you don't have to wait for my team just to get it to you. Let's see, here we go. Um, Here we go. I'll just put it right here to make it fast because I know there's a turnaround time and that could be annoying. Here we go. Go upstairs, Aaron said. Awesome. Let's see. Oh, it's too long. All right, hang on. Let me just get rid
Maybe
of.
like thirds or something. There's
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut it in half. Here we go. Oh God. All right, it's gonna need to come over in smaller chunks. Hang on, let me think about how to do this. Actually, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be easier. Here we go. Oops. I'm gonna share it in a Google Doc for you guys that everybody will have access to. Okay. Here, and I will share. I will make it open to anyone with the link. So you guys just click on this link. Let me just make sure everybody can open it. So click on that and just make sure you guys can open it. It's an open document, so there should be no problem. Yeah, it works. Cool. Okay. Awesome. So I want to, let's see. Uh, Daphne, I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying here. If you want to just unmute, you can just talk to me.
Before you got on the call today, we were trying to figure out and help other people find tapping calendars and, the logistics of getting to where we're
Oh, yeah.
supposed to be. And when you're first new here, it's overwhelming. It's confusing, it's overwhelming. And so I was just commenting that it's worth getting through those headaches and the learning curve of getting to why we're here. And
Thank
and
you.
we were talking about, if you have a coach or if you've, signed up for some coaching, be state that you want to find your coach. You want a coach.
Yeah.
Get it going. And this is really a program of empowering people. And in the beginning for me, that was very difficult because I wanted to be spoon-fed. I wanted to be show me where to be, when to show up, what to do, how to do it, because I wasn't an empowered person. And I'm still
Hmm.
working on that. As confident and as successful as we can be, there's still this little girl that says, oh, no, 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 very much of what we're doing today. Don't
Hmm.
ask. Don't be a problem.
Hmm.
Don't cause a ripple. It's for
Hmm.
me, the language was it's not safe. You'll be seen a particular way. You'll be misunderstood. But I
Hmm.
encourage everyone who has a hiccup with the logistics to persevere. I had the same hiccups. I know that I know the problem.
Yeah,
But just keep going.
yeah. Thank you for saying that because it's hard to figure out if it's I mean, we can definitely be better at organization and the logistics, and I know there's a lot of shit that's coming at you guys and it's hard to figure out, and I am working with my team on streamlining. I want you to know that. And also it is really overwhelming to be in a program like this that does teach self-empowerment because yeah, I think there is this expectation. Tapping can be so easy that it's like, okay, well, if I show up and if I just do the taps and I follow along, then I'll get the results. And that's true, but you have to do the tapping, right? You
Yeah.
have to do the tapping part.
Yeah.
And so I think, yeah, often it can feel overwhelming. Um, yeah, it can feel overwhelming just by nature of it's actually really scary to address this stuff that we have going on inside of ourselves. So,
I
does
think this is
anybody want?
a program that just one last sentence. I think it's a
Yeah.
program that's so effective that the science is just so spot on that
Mm,
if you put that much energy into it, you will discover something about yourself, and even that much information about yourself can be really scary.
it
And
is.
I know I'm speaking from my heart. It's hard, and you go, oh, okay, trust the system. So trust the system, ladies.
Oh, thank you, Daphne, for sharing that. It's really sweet. And I know Annette is offering twice a month. She's offering orientation calls where she's giving you a tour around the membership area and the site to show you where everything is and to get to just like we're figuring out ways to make this easier for you guys. So we're posting the calendar in the Facebook group and the links to all of those calls you will be able to upload them and put them on your phone. And then you'll just be able to click the link and join the calls. So we are working on that. That hopefully was the case for January, was it not? I have all the calls on my phone, so I know it is possible. If you have a challenge with that, you can say something about it in the you can tell the support girls, the VIP support at BrittanyWatkins.com, I think is what it is. I don't know, actually, is that what it is? That's specifically for the tapping circle. So you guys don't get, here, this is a support line just for, okay, so there's two things that we've added. Well, we've added a lot, but one of the things that we've added, yeah, VIP support at BrittanyWatkins.com. Here we go. I'll just paste this in here. So this gets you, like, we have a lot of people that'll email us that, just bought the 6-week program or like, bought something for $27, right? So if you just go to support at BrittanyWatkins.com, sometimes it takes a little while to get a response, but we have a VIP support that is just for the people that are in the tapping circle and the inner circle. Um, when you are coming to these live calls and when you have more access, we will help you. They get to your messages faster. Okay. So if you guys have a problem or if you need to know where something is, email that. And the girls are now working 24 hours a day. There's two girls and they're splitting up the shifts. So one's working in the night and one's working in the morning so that there's less lag time. Um, and then twice a month, we have orientation calls with Annette, who was on the call earlier, and she's walking you through it, doing a screen share and sharing and like showing you guys around the membership and showing you how to use it, how to upload it to your phone if you don't know how to do that. I get technology can be overwhelming, but it's part of our lives and we all have to learn how to use it. So we're trying to make that as easy as we can for you. But thank you, Daphne, for bringing that up and for sharing. I agree. I think sometimes I get kind of in the weeds that like it's an us problem and I forget that it's like psychologically really hard to like address this stuff. So there is that component too. Does anybody want to share wins? We've got about 10 minutes. Aha moments, wins, shifts, anything that you want to share. I would love to hear some wins or shares or ahas. Ellen, go ahead. You've got your hand up.
Thanks, Brittany. I wanted to respond to what Daphne was saying, and I was early on the call, and I would just want to encourage people to, use the Facebook, find other people, but don't do it as a way of saying, "Oh, this is awful. I'm having this problem, and we're having this problem together, and aren't you having this problem too?" And like that's very counterproductive. It's if you
It
look
is.
for there's so much good stuff on in this community, and
Mm.
if I can help anybody, you guys
Aw,
can
thank
ask me.
you.
I've been around for a while, and I've stumbled through things and I've found things, and I'm a retired librarian. I'm used to finding things for people. Like
Wow, I didn't know that about you, Ellen. Okay.
yeah.
We might need to bring you,
So
we're categorizing, I mean, we're using AI now, but we're going back and categorizing 10 years of laser coaching calls with me using AI and trying to figure out how we're going to make that something that is easy for you guys to digest, where you have a question and you can just like go to where it is in a video or get an answer really quick. So that's a fun
may-
project that's going to take probably the better part of this year to figure out, but
maybe y'all need a librarian.
yeah, we do. Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Ellen. Anybody else want to share wins or aha moments? Just go ahead and unmute yourself. We're a small group if you want. Go ahead and unmute Jill. Hi, Jill.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, is it, yeah, Jill,
Yeah.
I realized about, the needs that my role in the family was to take care of my mother, and there was no room for my needs or recognition of my needs. And it wasn't safe to have needs because my mother needed so much caretaking that if she couldn't take care of me. So if I had needs, she would fall apart and I would have nobody to feed me and shelter me. And so I just, it's such a big issue. And to tap that it's safe to have needs is such an important message for me.
Thank you, Jill. That's such a beautiful example of how to go deeper into into this topic for you specifically. Are you also the oldest child by chance?
No, I'm the third, but I'm
You're
the
the
only
third.
girl. I'm the third out
You're
of four, but I'm the only girl, so I was the one who got chosen to take care of my mother,
the
who
caretaker.
was very damaged person because in the early 60s. I'm 71 years old. I was the woman, the only other woman in the family, and
Yeah.
she needed help. And so that was my brothers got to go on and have and make a life for themselves. I was picked up to take care of her, and it's
Yeah.
been a real burden.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I can't wait to hear how you do with going a little bit deeper on that specifically. This has been life-changing for me. I have noticed this year that I have my best friend had a baby. My dad had a heart issue, or he got a pacemaker, and I was able to I was able to continue to look at what is the most important thing for me right now. Brittany has to take care of herself first, and then I can help the other people around me. And this is the first year that I've ever been able to do that. Normally, with something like that, with my dad with a heart and my best friend having a baby, I would just completely abandon and forget about myself. And this was the first year that I didn't do that. So this is powerful work. And I didn't tap on this a whole lot. I want to say I spent like an afternoon tapping on this. So this is a big needle mover. Thank you, Jill, for
Thank you for
sharing that.
sharing.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else want to share wins or ahas? No?
Brittany,
Yeah.
um, one thing that I did, I listened to the um, video about being mindful of what you eat. And that was really a big help for me.
Mm.
I'm not sure where to go with it because I lost my husband a year ago
Oh.
and I lost my sister 6 or 7 months ago. In the last year, I've lost like 10 people.
Oh my God. Wow, Debbie, that's horrible.
And it's been very difficult.
Yeah. Debbie, are you just starting in the Thrive program or in with my 6-week program? Which program are you in?
To thrive.
Thrive. Okay. If you're just starting, some of you want to go to the core modules. Listen to the core modules. The bonus material is like, unless it's in the Golden Vault, it's kind of like after you work through the main material, then you can think about those things. They're not essential. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. They're not essential for you to get results. If you're just starting out, and these are questions, you guys, that I'll go through and do like laser coaching with you guys on the other call that's happening. But Debbie, just to give you something to get you started, just pick either cravings or emotional eating and just focus on that for the first month. Okay. Don't try to listen to everything and implement everything, because you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to end up not doing anything. And the techniques really work. You just have to use them and you have to apply them in the moment when the problem comes up, right? So get really, really good at the cravings technique, or get really, really good at the emotional eating technique, and then just apply that every single time you have that problem, apply the technique. And the more you do that, the faster you will change. And then the faster you change, the happier you'll be. And then you'll want to look at the other stuff. Otherwise, you'll end up kind of looking at everything and getting a little overwhelmed, and then it's too much.
Okay, thank you. I actually have, I mean, I feel like I've made great steps actually
Good.
because I'm not eating near as much.
Right.
I'm able to leave food in my plate. And I something that you said that I listened to is you said um a lot of times if you have hurt, you have anger. And for years I even went to counseling because of some of the terrible things that was said to me growing up. And I went to counseling 2 different times, but one really helped me. Um, but when I went there, it was like a group, and I said, "I'm not hurt. I'm not mad. I don't hate anybody. I'm just hurt. I just have a whole lot of hurt." And after I started tapping and doing some of this, the anger started coming out, and I was angry about some things, but I um I guess I just disguised it as hurt.
Yeah.
And I because I don't want to be mad at anybody. I
Hmm.
like to be ugly to anybody.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
always I'm just so hurt.
Yeah. That's very common, and it's a huge aha moment, Debbie. And once you get to that part in the program where you're ready to do anger work, I think it'd be really powerful for you to apply the anger techniques. I just wouldn't, if you just started, I wouldn't start that right away because it can sometimes bring up a lot. So just get comfortable with either the craving or the emotional eating technique. And then on the laser coaching call, we can go a little bit deeper
Okay, and we
together.
have that.
It'll be on the calendar. It's in the Facebook group. If you go to the Facebook group, there's the calls with me are in purple, I think. What's my color? I don't know what my color is, but they're in the same color. They're either yeah, purple or orange, something. So there's a little tab that says calls with Britt, and it'll be on it'll be on those days in that color.
Okay, great.
Okay. Thanks,
Thank
Deb. Yeah, you're welcome. Maddie, did you want to share an aha?
Yeah, I had a bit of an aha moment this week. I've always been taught that you eat until you're 80% full. And I've always battled with that concept because how the heck, how the heck do you know when you're 80% full?
Right.
So I just looked at it differently this week and tried to eat until I wasn't hungry anymore, which is semantics, but it's just the focus isn't on being full, it's on not being hungry, which is an easier concept to digest than being full. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And how's that working for you?
Yeah, it's a lesson in progress. I'm
Yeah.
getting there. I'm
Yeah.
getting there. But the other one that I just wanted to share that I found useful, I have a friend who's so good at this, and I learned from her. And if this helps anybody else, if it's hard to take chunks of time for yourself, um, we do what we call snacker sizes. We take little chunks. So while the kettle's boiling, you do your squats, or you fill the kettle right up and go and sit outside in the sun for the 3 minutes that it takes to boil the kettle, or do your calf lifts while you brushing your teeth, or touch your toes 4 times before you get in the shower. Little
Yeah.
snacker sizes. Yeah.
Oh, I love
Touch your
that. And it's
toes before you open the fridge.
yeah, that's great. And that's habit stacking. I mean, it's something that you're
Yeah.
already doing
Yeah.
anyway and just adding something to it so it doesn't feel like extra work. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that, Maddie. Another trick, I don't know if I share this in the program or not, but the food starts to taste different if you're really present and if you're really like in your body and enjoying the food when you're eating it. It starts to lose its flavor when your body is done with it. So that's something too that can bring awareness to if you guys are working on eating slower or anything around your eating habits. So
That'll be very useful because I eat because it's nice, you know. I
yeah.
don't eat it if it's not nice, but I eat too much when it's nice.
Yeah, and
So
if you're really aware when you're eating, and sometimes it's hard to be aware when you're eating because you sit down and maybe you're talking to people or you're in an environment, so you can't do this all the time, but practice it when you're by yourself. I found that made it much easier when I was alone. You get used to eating slower and you get used to being more present when you're actually with the food. So,
mm,
right. Okay, thanks, Maddie. All right.
thank you.
Thank you guys so much for being here today for the first official tapping class of the Tapping Circle. Thank you guys for sharing and for adding your ahas and your wins. It's nice to have it sort of be a flowing conversation too. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. And I will see you probably in a couple of weeks for the laser coaching call in February. Okay. Lots
Thanks,
of love. Bye,
Brittany.
everybody. You're welcome. Bye, everybody. Lots of love.